Hi, I'm Christina Heideck here with PTO Answers, and I just got back from volunteering at school. Well, not actually just, because I also had to go to Costco and do some errands. But anyway, when I was at school volunteering this morning, I had a really interesting conversation. It was actually pretty sad, I thought. Conversation with another parent volunteer there. She was talking to me because she'd asked me if I had anything to help a new fundraising chair. And I said, because her friend in another district was actually just elected as fundraiser chair, and she has never really been involved with the PTA before and really has no binder to go with or to go on, and really no guidance. And so she knew that I had the PTA planner, or PTO, PTA planner, whatever, and wondered if I had something else that could help her, because her friend was feeling kind of lost, and my friend is nice, and so she wanted to give her a little bit of some help. But anyway, she was telling me that her friend actually was elected at a meeting that she wasn't even at. So the other members of this PTA had decided it was a great idea to elect someone in their absence. And not only was she not there, but worse, I don't even think they asked her before like ahead of time. Like, there was no slating process that happened. My friend had mentioned that her friend, let's just call her Kara so I can stop saying her friend and she and whatever. So Kara had said that she was not able to make it to the PTA meetings and had let the other PTA members know that she was more than happy to help and do whatever, was needed, but she couldn't come to the PTA meetings. And so as far as I know, that was the extent of the whole nominating and slating process, which is just really horrifying in my eyes, because I gotta say, I think that's the worst possible idea you could have to get somebody involved with your group, because that's one, I would not feel like I'm a part of that team if this is just being put upon me. And I also would feel really intimidated if Kara has never even been to a PTA meeting, and here she's in charge of all of the fundraisers for next year, in addition to a whole host of other things. So, well, now that just farted up my hair, sorry. Anyway, I just think it's so bad. And actually, as I'm thinking about this, I know this has happened in my PTA, but years before I was ever involved, because there was this mom with an older son who she was somewhere, I think it was back in my preschool co-op days. So it's been a hot minute or two since my kids are now almost 9 and 12. But she had gotten volunteered to bring in cupcakes for a couple different classes, even though she wasn't at the meeting where said volunteering took place, and she was kind of a woman who didn't always stand up for herself and say no very often. So anyway, she got totally suckered into making cupcakes, and what was worse for that friend is that she was actually gluten-free, and she had celiac disease and totally couldn't even handle traditional cupcakes, so it was just a hot mess all the way around. So anyway, I guess this is all to say, it is a bad idea if you're going to be getting people who don't come to your meetings to be in charge of things. And also, it can really turn people off and make them feel excluded from the group, even though that's the exact opposite of what you actually want. You want to feel these people or make them feel like they're included. You want them to feel like they're a part of something bigger and that you're all working towards a common goal. Well, nominating and electing people in the fashion that Kara was is totally the wrong way to go. So let's also back up and talk about the right things to do, some positive steps that you can take to get leaders elected and involved with your group, since I just told you one way that you totally shouldn't be doing it. And really, I highly suggest, if you're out of ideas among the PTA leaders, then the next step should be go talk to your principal, go talk to teachers, classroom teachers, and see who's in the building as a parent volunteer maybe they're just slipping in and slipping out, and maybe they're not there when you are, or maybe you're working full time and so you're not there during the day. But find those people, those volunteers who are working during the day, because more than likely, a lot of people just don't like to come to the PTA meetings. I don't know why, but I'm a PTA nerd, obviously, so I've missed very few PTA meetings in my children's school careers thus far. But as I was saying, a lot of times the people who come in and volunteer in the classroom, they're not coming to the meeting, so they're not ever going to show up on your radar. So you really need to look at other ways to find peeps, right? So like I always used to talk with my principal and just be like, who do you know? Do you have any suggestions? And she didn't always have like a super long list for me, but she had like a name or two. And so then what I would do is just contact that person and be like, hey, I heard that, you've been like a super awesome volunteer in school. And I was wondering if you wanted to take your involvement up a notch to the next level, right? Because that's all being a PTA or PTO leader is just taking that commitment one step further and really making a firm, solid commitment that you're going to follow through with what you say and really, help the school in a different way. So yeah. And if my principal didn't have any ideas, I would go talk to either my children's teacher of the current year, or maybe even some teachers that they've had in the past and see if they have any ideas. 'Cause sometimes people just like slip in and slip out and you might not notice them, or they want to stay on the down low. But that's a good way to kind of ferret them out, right? Because the teachers always know who's a good person to ask for different things rather. So I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up from here. And if you want to know more, let me know. Maybe I'll do a longer form blog post on this topic, because I know it's the end of February. March is just around the corner, and I know it's like nomination season. So anyways, I just thought it was really important to share what not to do. Because it might, if you recruit volunteers in that way, and I say recruit like really loosely because you're like really forcing it upon them and not giving them much of a choice or a chance to say, oh, you know what, I really don't want to do fundraising, but maybe I want to be in charge of reflections, or maybe I want to do family events or whatever. You're really pigeonholing them into one area, and it might work out, but it also could turn out in disaster because they might not really want to do whatever you just elected them to do, and that's no bueno. So, all right, and there I am ending on a negative note. So sorry. I'll try and do better next time. So until then, take care and happy in PTA and PTO land. Bye-bye.